Ladies and gentlemen, we are experiencing audio difficulties. Do not adjust your sets. The problem will be corrected shortly. Thank you.
To the terrorist attack, Tom Jarrell on President Nixon's reaction, Sam Donaldson on John Mitchell's view of the bugging of the Democratic headquarters, Roger Peterson on U.S. Navy training of whales as retrievers, and tonight's comment on the advisability of resolving the Middle East crisis now.
The ABC Evening News with Howard K. Smith and Harry Reasoner is brought to you by Connecticut General Life Insurance Company. Connecticut General. We do things a little differently.
The joys of Olympic victory have seemed to turn to ashes. The 1,000 disappointments of defeat have been dwarfed by a nightmare in Munich. In the darkness before dawn today, 5 Arab commandos carrying submachine guns climbed the Olympic compound fence, broke into the Israeli team's quarters, shot and killed 2 Israelis, and held 9 others hostages all day and into the night. A short while ago, guerrillas and hostages went or were taken, by whom nobody knows yet, through an underground passage to a helipad, whence they were flown from the Olympic City to an unknown destination, reportedly Tunisia. We have a late report that when the helicopters arrived at the military airport near Munich to take off, shooting broke out, but we have no details. We have reports from the scene in Munich by ABC sports commentator Jim McKay and Peter Jennings.
At about 5 o'clock this morning, before dawn, Arab guerrillas, believed now to be 5 in number, and disguised as athletes in dark training suits, a couple of them with sunglasses, at least 2 of them with their faces blackened, got over the fence into the headquarters of the Israeli team. They knocked on the door, and a man named Moshe Weinberg, the coach of the wrestling team, answered. They said, "Where are the Israelis?" Immediately, he knew what it was. He began to struggle. He was shot twice in the head and once in the stomach, dragged outside, and died. His body has been removed. His mother, who ironically lives in Munich, has been at the hospital to identify his body. The demands have been many. There is someone right now. It certainly has to be one of the guerrillas. One of them is believed to be a woman. And this has happened time and time and time again. The door opening, the head coming out to see what is going on. Olympic Village building number 31, a number that now becomes part of the history of these games. The principal demand was that some 200 or more guerrilla Arabs being held prisoner in Israel be released, and as of now, Prime Minister Golda Meir is meeting with the Knesset, as we understand it. Willy Brandt, the Chancellor of West Germany, has arrived in Munich and is in some way taking part in the negotiations. The troops that are in there now, originally it was police, now there are a great number of the Bundesgrenzschutz, or border troops, 10 truckloads of them unloaded out here, and again, there's the head of one of the guerrillas peeking out the lookout to see what is going on.
Jim, the man you have been looking at is the principal Arab guerrilla outlook on the Connolly Strasse, the passenger pedestrian boulevard which runs along right in front of building number 1. It does appear to be confirmed, though anything confirmed today is difficult, that these guerrillas are from one of the very extreme left-wing groups, the same groups who participated in the attempt to hijack the Sabina airliner at Tel Aviv's airport in May, and those who took credit when the Japanese attacked Lod Airport on May the 30th. An extreme left-wing group may in fact be a group called Black September, or another group extremely and as revolutionary as Black September.
Here is the crowd that has gathered. The Army trucks, which were right by that building at the upper left, have now moved out. We heard them. They're just outside this door here. I thought there were more trucks moving in, but they apparently have moved out, having deposited, however, the border police, who have fanned out. They see the fence. It's just right at the bottom of your picture is the fence around the Olympic Village, which is much like you'd have around a tennis court, one of those chain-link wire fences. And it's believed that the guerrillas went over that about 5 o'clock this morning. There have been occasions when athletes returning late have done exactly that, and apparently they disguised themselves as athletes right to the point of 2 of them blackening their faces, the rest not doing so, and one man possibly having put on a blonde wig. The men you're looking at are not athletes. These are German border guards, presumably. They could be Munich police also, disguised as athletes, wearing the training suits that you see all around here. Some 12,000 athletes of the world gathered. What exactly will be their plan, their strategy? Obviously, they're not telling anybody right now. But there is no action around that suite of rooms. Commentator for the Israeli television team here at the Games of the 20th Olympiad. He's been as close to the story as anyone. Dan, could you tell us the story as you know it?
6 o'clock, I had a telephone call from the Israeli head of the team. And he gave me general information about the situation, and then I ran to the Olympic Village. I had to fight the police in order to get inside. By the way, yesterday night, everybody could enter the village, but today, this police is really hysteric. You can imagine that these Arabs knew all the exits and the entrance of the Israeli rooms and everything, because they are protecting themselves now all around very carefully. So we think that they came yesterday or before yesterday to check everything, and only this morning they did it.
Well, there was a report from one man, I believe from the Uruguayan delegation, who saw them somewhere this morning. They were near his quarters, and he said he recognized one of them as a man he had seen in the restaurant yesterday asking where he'd get a piece of fruit. So apparently there may be some substance to the idea that they had looked around and had found everything. Can you tell me how your athletes who did escape made their escape?
They jumped through the windows.
They did?
Yeah.
This was from the second floor?
Second and first.
And were any of them injured doing this?
No, they are athletes.
This is Gregory Jackson in New York. Out of range of our live cameras in Munich, film of the activity surrounding the terrorists continued to pour into the city. Munich police and border guards, dressed as athletes, surrounded the Israeli building, some crawling into position, other sharpshooters on top of buildings farther away. There were many guns at the ready, but despite some early speculation, no shots were fired at the compound. No shots, that is, after those initial bursts that killed 2 Israelis early this morning. And off and on through the day, various terrorists appeared at windows and doors, as others negotiated over the phone. With the time change, it is 5 hours later in Munich than it is in the United States, and at nightfall in Germany, under a heavy blanket of security and silence, a break in the stakeout developed. A break that came 5 hours after a deadline set by the Arab guerrillas. It came with a bus departing, a bus which may possibly have been carrying the terrorists and hostages. We are not sure of that, and however they got there, either on the bus or through a tunnel, the group soon appeared at the back of the Israeli building to board 3 helicopters. ABC's Peter Jennings was there.
This is Peter Jennings in the Olympic Village. Building 31 is now vacant. The Israeli hostages and the Arab commanders who have held them hostage for this entire day have now left, proceeded along a subterranean roadway underneath the Olympic Village, and have gone to a makeshift helicopter pad at the back of the Olympic Village. One of the helicopters now proceeds out over the Olympic site, out over the main stadium where half the lights are on. The second helicopter is now following it and moving out around this tremendously high major Olympic tower as they depart to a destination we, of course, as yet do not know. Early today, of course, Arab commandos climbing over the fence, taking the Israelis hostage in Building 31, killing one at the very outset, wounding another who later died of his wounds. And now we find that this drama has not ended. The third helicopter now moving right by us, right over the Olympic Village, passing now over the main stadium, all the lights on in this Olympic site. An Olympic site which for more than a week now has been a place of serenity and comradeship, an Olympic Village which in spite of some political crisis has been happy, and now today has been absolutely shattered by this tragedy. This is Peter Jennings in the Olympic Village.
As said, we're not sure exactly what happened after the men left to the helicopter to the field, the military airport at Fürstenfeldbruck outside Munich. There was shooting that broke out between the terrorists and the German police. That's been officially announced. We don't know the result of that shooting or what happened after that. The 2 Jewish Israeli team members who were killed were wrestling coach Moshe Weinberg and weightlifter Josef Romano. Several Jewish competitors were given special guards at the Olympics today. The all-time record Olympic medal winner, Mark Spitz, who is a Jew, was allowed to appear briefly at a previously scheduled news conference, then was hustled out of Munich to London, probably en route home to the United States.
This portion of the ABC Evening News is brought to you by Connecticut General Life Insurance Company.